What's good, everybody? Shaq with Sergio's Collection back again. Today is July 20th. It is Monday, day 10 of our Speedrun challenge to see if we can open up in 21 days. Today, while it's not over, got a decent amount of stuff done. Not really in the store. Came back and dropped off a few things, but we're really in a holding pattern in the store until we get our tables and chairs and a bunch of our fixtures and our tables and chairs. Chairs should be coming tomorrow. We have two different waves of chairs. Ended up adding more play space, so we're going from 36 to 48. So I needed to order more chairs, and then tables. The seller hasn't shipped them yet, so got to figure that out and either cancel and go with another provider. So more to come there. But yeah, waiting a lot of that as well as all the slat wall and stuff. Still waiting on that to get shipped to me. That should be here next week. Spoke with my signage guy. We went with some cheaper options than the first couple that he laid out. We can always upgrade later on. So he's waiting for a final estimate from one of his team members, and then once that's going, we'll get that. And it's typically the first option is like a 3-day lead time. The second option is about a week lead time. So we're still good on the signage. So we'll most likely have that installed probably the Thursday or Friday before, which is perfect for us. So we did that today. Also went around and met all the other kind of neighbors in the area, the different stores. Just saying hi, introduce myself, let them know about our grand opening. We'll probably have like just to give away a little goodie bag for our first like 100 customers that purchase something. And so thinking about adding something from each one of those stores, just kind of say welcome to the neighborhood, welcome to the area, and here's our other neighbors, and things like that. So more to come there. Heavy reviewing applications for our kind of open positions, store associate. So going to start interviewing in a few days, but just making sure get a decent amount of candidates in the pool, and then we'll start interviewing. So spending a lot of time today looking over that, making sure that I still need what I need, and going from there. So that's a lot of what I did today, and then also spent a lot of time talking with my distributors, looking through the website. As you know, with opening a store, no one wants to have two items in the store. So we just need to make sure that we can get a lot of the different magic sets in here, commander decks, some of the play boosters, and probably not any of the special. We're not getting collector boosters probably for most of those sets, but just trying to get as much as we can of variety, so that way can cater to a lot of different players and customers who are looking for something versus just having 100 boxes of one set for Magic. And Pokemon, same way. We have a lot of inventory ourselves there already, but just getting a little bit more from where we're lacking, so that way that day one we can have a pretty big inventory, just a large selection. Going from there. So spend a lot of time talking with my distros just to see what's available, what I can place on order. I can't get anything until about like 2-3 days before we open, so I still have some time to continue to add things to my order. But just checking every day the website to make sure that whatever's in stock I can get a little bit of. As we all know, the market's just insane, insanely just crazy across like all TCGs, and so anything that's good, anything that sells is not going to be available on the website. So just working through that now. And then, yeah, that was a lot of what we're doing today. There's some other small stuff, but that's kind of the bigger stuff. Quick learning for today, really just around planning hiring. I think before we get into like who to hire, you need to figure out what we need to hire. I think everyone's situation is different. I think you have some people like me who have a day job to where, okay, well, we can't be here all the time. Thankfully, we're opening later hours, so that's not necessarily a big concern for me, but still need staff and still need people to man the till. I'll probably be doing all the trade-ins and things for a while until I train someone on it, but just need someone to check people out, as well as someone who, once we start doing organized play, someone who can check people in, who can run the timer and just do all those different things. Some stores, when they start out, want to do everything themselves and not have as many staff just to save money. I think, as we're looking to grow and scale this, I want to have great talent, great people in place early on that can scale and grow as we scale and grow. And I don't want to be, rushing when I have things I got to do. If I need to travel or if there's emergencies that come up, I want to make sure that the store is well taken care of and we have people in here. So the goal is get some folks in, vet them, make sure they're quality, train them up, have them learn everything. Be an apprentice, learn from me, learn the business, learn the ins and outs of it, learn the different trading card games, learn organized play, and grow in your role over time to take on more responsibilities. And eventually, someone will be running the day-to-day of the shop, and I can start abdicating a little bit more of the responsibility to them. So that's kind of how I think about it. And other people are like, I want to run this, myself forever. And I just know that, as a business owner, you really want to eventually get to working on the business versus in the business. And we've been running this for, 6+ years. I've worked in the business a lot, and then I started handing things off, and you start to see just time opens up, so that way you can work on growing the business and thinking about strategy and thinking about, okay, like planning ahead. And so for me, I want to get out of the day to day as quickly as possible. That doesn't mean that I'm not in the store greeting customers. That's just more of a, hey, like, you're checking the customer out. I can work on, this massive trade in that we're getting. You're checking the customer out. I can make sure that we have enough product for the next, 3 months or 3 weeks or whatever it may be, versus like, hey, I have to check out the customer out, do all that things like that, as well as now at 12 a.m. in the morning, I have to do all those other things, and it may be too late for a lot of those things because the deadline is passed. And so just having, staff in there, and I look at it as an investment into them, helping them grow in their own careers, as well as to our business, right? We need great people to run the business. And so, um, so I'm never one to say I'm going to do everything on my own. I think, great business owners need to know when to delegate, and I'm going to delegate, some of the kind of repeat tasks. And yeah, if the store gets pretty packed, we have 2 registers, so we'll have most likely 2 people on staff at one time, maybe me and someone else, and maybe someone else, 2 people, and then me. It just depends on, Saturdays, maybe 3 of us in here, because we are, like I said, next to a brewery. It gets pretty packed when there's any sporting event, things like that. So, but yeah, I'll jump on a register, especially the first few months, jump on a register whenever needed to get things done. If there's someone in trade-in, okay, y'all two take the registers and make sure any customer's good. I'll jump on this trade-in and make sure it's good. So I think just having more flexibility versus if it was just me in the store. Okay, now we have a long line waiting. I'm working the register, but I'm also taking a break to go do, work through a trade and sort and price everything. And then also I got to go run over and do organized play and make sure that the pairings are good and all that. So it just doesn't make sense. And I think it's better to spend the money and just make sure you're capitalized. And so that was baked into our plan. We had, plans for at least minimum of 2 up to 3 staff besides me. And that's just for redundancy. That's for if someone calls out, we have other people on staff. Our shifts are pretty light, and it's 5 hours on the weekdays, and then it's 8 hours on the weekend. So it's you know pretty good shifts and for what people are wanting to work. So I would say, just bake it into whatever your plan you have. Don't try to add it after the fact, because it may not work after the fact. So we baked it in. Okay, we're going to have these expenses, these costs. Let's go make sure that we have the capital and the funds needed to just have that plan. And that plan allows us to grow faster. That plan allows us to do more. That plan allows me to keep my day job, so that way, I can not take money out of the business for the foreseeable future, and make sure that we break even and get to profitability. As you know, LGSs, they fail all the time. One of the biggest failure points is they just run out of money. So my goal is, regardless of what happens, we're not running out of money. And one way to do that is just having additional staff, people on staff, so where I'm not, focused solely on making money for myself and paying my bills. I'm focused on what's best for the business, what's best for long term. Do we need to hold this item for a little longer because right now it's tanking? Whatever that situation may be, we don't have to fire sale. We don't have to do those things. And what I try to think about is, okay, whatever you're paying your staff, in trading cards, if you have an average sale of $50 per customer or $40, you may only need 2 to 3 customers an hour to break even on that one employee, and from there everything else is gravy. And so I do think about, the more, obviously there's a balance. You can't have 20 employees. That doesn't make sense. But for a store our size, 1,600 square foot, having two employees in the shop at all times, you may have anywhere from 10 to 20 customers coming in per hour, depending on the day. It's well worth having another person on staff, as well as they can help with the restocks. They can help with tournament play. They can be friendly to customers and just do a lot of those things while I'm sitting in the back office trying to figure out what's our plan for next month, doing the finances, just doing a lot of different things. And I have to do those because, like I said, there's a day job. That's already another full-time job that I need to make sure I'm committed to and doing a good job for. And so time is valuable. And so, just being able to do a lot of things that I do during the workday in terms of the shop will be more helpful than me running the shop by myself in the evenings, and then eventually going at home in 11 p.m. or 12 a.m. in the morning. I'm working on that as well. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about. Tomorrow is going to be a heavy website day, so we're going to be building out the new website. We're not going to have singles or sealed product online initially. We're going to sell everything in store, and then eventually we'll turn on that as well. So that's going to be the big focus for tomorrow, making sure that's done. I have kind of a rough outline and design for that. So that's kind of the big computer thing, and then we also have a lot of our things being installed tomorrow. Like I said, is chairs. We're having the HVAC guy finally come out tomorrow. I'm hoping this tables comes in clutch. If not, we'll have to figure out another vendor. So I'll be here just making sure that everything gets installed correctly, and then we'll head home and work on just the website part of the business, and making sure that is kind of clear and consistent across our brand. Um, and then, yeah, some final small orders that we need to place, but for the most part, we're really in a holding pattern when it comes to the physical store, just because we need our fixtures, slat walls, and all that before we can move forward. So more to come there, but hope you have a good day. Peace.